Namaskar, I Vishwarupa Rath welcome you all to Uday India Digital. Today, I talk about India's rising trade with China. The government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been encouraging companies to make in India for the past few years in an effort to reduce the nation's dependency on items manufactured in China or made in China. The basic idea of the government is to lessen India's trade deficit with its neighbor. In economics, when a nation's imports are greater than its exports, the trade deficit results. However, despite investing tens of billions of rupees to develop such Atmanirbharta, China's trade with imbalance with India is more than $1 trillion now. Early in the new millennium, imports from China to India fueled the expansion of trade relations between the two countries. According to the Indian government, a sizable amount of these imports consist of, among other things, footwear, iron and steel, copper, nuclear reactors, animal and vegetable fats, mineral fuels and inorganic chemicals. The Indian government notified Parliament in July this year that imports from China have surged by roughly 30% just in the last 5 years. Annual two-way commerce reached $125.6 billion in 2021. The first time it has done so, with India's imports accounting for $97.5 billion of that total, putting the imbalance at almost $70 billion. The rise in Chinese imports coincides with an uptick in boycott demands of Chinese products in India. By the end of 2020, Indian consumers' perceptions of the Chinese goods had become so negative that some Chinese companies had changed the Made in China label on their items to read Made in PRC, where PRC stands for People's Republic of China. The Modi government reportedly instructed all states to steer clear of doing business with China, which led to an increase in tension between the two countries after India blocked a number of Chinese apps. It appears that none of these actions have benefited India. More than ever, the nation is dependent on China. This is taking place despite the Modi government's recent announcement of a new program called the Production Linked Incentive, which provided financial incentives to businesses that increased domestic production in 13 different industries, including electronics, telecom, textile, solar energy, and others. This is mostly due to the nature of India's imports, which accounts for more than half of its completed goods production, and the realization that mantras popularized by Modi, like vocal for local, may be simple to say but challenging to put into action. In addition, China has surpassed the US as India's top trading partner. In contrast to the US $80.5 billion in trade between India and the US, the trade between the two Asian economies reached US $86.4 billion in 2020 to 2021. This is an increase from US $81.9 billion the previous year. However, the government still appears committed for taking the self-reliance path. The Regional Comprehensive Economic Program was signed by 15 countries without India. Our Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar stated that India was determined to abandon trade agreements in favor of a self-reliant India policy in order to consolidate comprehensive national power. The end effect is a worsening crisis for India's traders and manufacturers, with the tiniest business bearing the brunt of the pain. Now leave the data aside. The question to ponder upon is that what happened to our self-reliance goals? If trade with China is increasing, then why ask people to boycott and devoid them of the cheap products that don't dent their pockets? Is it just politics, or do we have something concrete to control this trade deficit? China comes and transgresses our borders, makes installations near borders, all on our cost. Because one can ask, are we not funding China's daily excursions inside our borders through rising trade with the dragon? Government needs to answer these before the public sentiments go against it. This was it for today. Keep watching Uday India and do not forget to like, subscribe and share.